Welcome to your Chips and Salsa show. This is Don Jorge, and it's the people's house. I love being here because all the chairmen from all the LD districts come here and meet once a month, and they represent Maricopa County. So this is a Maricopa County hub of all the representatives.
It's where all the magic happens.
And you have the MALs are here also. And it is a fantastic place to meet, and we love being here, and we have to thank Shelby Bush and Steve Robinson for letting us do our show here, and the MCRC for letting us do the show here. We have two fantastic guests. One, believe it or not, we respect the late Raúl Grijalva, but he passed away. We have a Daniel Butierez who ran against him and is running again, and he's a fantastic candidate, and you're going to hear everything about him. But first, I'd like to introduce my co-host,
Cheryl Rosado.
Cheryl Rosado.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. As George said, we're here at the People's House. Thank you to AZ, We the People AZ Alliance, for allowing us to use this facility today to have our show. And before we launch into our wonderful guests, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Canaloo Air. Thank you so much for all your support. It's awesome to have an honest AC company, and they do plumbing as well. So contact them for all your needs. The heat's coming up. You guys got to get your AC checks done now before you regret it. So Canaloo Air, and you can visit them for their specials and stuff like that. And we have One Team, One Dream Foundation, where you can look them up online. That's their, there's a website, right? Which is One Team, One Dream Foundation. And then we have at AZ_injection_perfection for lash extensions and body contouring, so help you get snatched. And last, we have National Automotive Repair, and they are, just like you need an honest AC, you need an honest mechanic. So thank you so much to our sponsors for their support that enable us to come and be able to chat up these great guests. So we have Daniel Butierez and Yvette Serino here with us today. And as George said, Dan was running for Congress, CD7. And then when Congressman Grijalva passed away, and that left a vacancy, and so now you are running for that seat.
That's
the
correct.
Open seat. Do you have to go out and get signatures and everything like you do for the regular one?
Yes, we do, and we had they put out the signature. We signed up yesterday. We had a press conference yesterday. All the media came to a place that Yvette had set up, and it was awesome. Turned out really good. This time, what we need to get is 564 signatures.
Oh, that's easy peasy.
Yeah, and they've been signing all day long.
Yes.
I've got people out getting them.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, one of the individuals I'm running against is headed over to the GOP in Santa Cruz to do something and to get his signatures. But anyways, yeah, we got to get the signatures. We got to. It's going to be quick.
Yeah. When? So there is a primary?
There is a primary, and that will be July 15th. Yeah.
Wow. So that's coming up fast.
Yep, and the general's in September. So.
Wow. Very, very, very exciting things going on over there.
Yep.
And this is just to hold a seat for 2 years and then another election in 2026, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Daniel's been on our show many times, or a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, and some of you remember him, but you're going to learn a lot about him. And with his new campaign manager, this is fantastic. He's doing all the right things. So I'm going to turn it back over to Daniel. Go ahead.
Anyways, yeah, I never stopped running. Started running almost 3 years ago. Got to know everyone across Southern Arizona. I've got the name recognition across Southern Arizona. And we kind of assumed that there was going to be a special election, so I never stopped running because I wanted to make sure people remembered my name. It paid off. And here we are.
Very cool. What are your upcoming events that you have planned, Yvette? Tell us
So-
what's going on.
The next event we have planned is March 24th. It's at Reforma in Tucson, Arizona. It is Dan's big kickoff party. So we hope that everybody can join us. And if you want to come down and see Dan at his kickoff, and we're going to have music and fun and just lots of speakers and motivational
I
speakers.
feel like
It's
I
going to be
just
awesome.
went there to that Reforma, right? Is that where
Probably.
is
We
that
do
where
a
we went
lot of
to eat
events
there.
there. Yes, they have
Right?
wonderful food. Actually,
Yeah.
they have great Mexican cuisine. It's a little bit of a twist to it. So it's not your typical Mexican cuisine, but it's delicious.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, I'm excited because I know where it's at. So
That's
I don't
awesome.
always know when it comes to Tucson. So I'm glad you hit the ground running because you never stopped. You are ready, ready to go when this special election started. And is it because of the narrow window that like the signature threshold is so low, or is it because it's just a special election? It would have been low no matter when he passed. Or you don't know?
It's just what they require. It's what's required of it because it is a special election, so it's going to be a different number. But we're confident that Dan is going to be the winner.
Do you have a lot on the opposing party side? Do you have a lot of people who've already jumped in, or not really?
There's a few people,
There are a
but
few, okay.
Dan is going to be the one that's going to come out being number one, and he's going to win. And we're going to flip Southern Arizona for the first time in many, many years.
And that'll be amazing because you win this, then you're the incumbent for the next time. You know what
Correct.
I mean? And that's a huge leg up. So
Well, I actually feel kind of like the incumbent now because I do have the name recognition, which is helping a lot. We've also been doing a lot in South Tucson. And it was funny because we were watching the media yesterday, and the media came out and they had done an interview on the South Side, and they were asking residents of the South Side who they'd like to have fill their seat. And they said the answer is going to be surprising. They don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican, as long as they care about the community. Funny thing is, all I've been doing is working in the community of South Tucson. We just got done painting the community
I was
church.
going to say, I just saw you doing some community work.
Yeah, we did a church, brought in 12 different businesses, got the church done, and all the people of the church, they just love us. And they actually, I got a key in my pocket. I got to go make a spare key because they want us to have a key to the church so that we can do events there if we want.
That's so sweet.
We're getting ready to do the John Valenzuela Youth Center. John Valenzuela was an officer that was killed in South Tucson back in 1992. His brother is James Valenzuela, and he has endorsed me before all of South Tucson. He is a very big man in South Tucson, so we are going to do something that no one expected to be done. We're going to win South Tucson.
That's incredible.
That is
That's
good.
so
Yes.
exciting to hear. I mean, I also live in a blue area, so it would be so great if I know how excited I would be to have somebody to really root for who really has a chance. That's just super awesome. And I know it's a very blue spot. So if they're not saying, oh, it has to be a D, then that right there is a huge thing in itself.
Yeah, I think President Trump has helped with that as well. And so, he didn't get to be president just by, I can't even speak anymore. We've talked so much today, but Republicans voting for him, right? But, in our district, so many people love President Trump. And, even now, the things that he's doing to make the economy better, everything, they understand that. And that's what they want. They're tired of the Democrats. They're tired of being left, aside and just being used all the time. And now they see Dan, and here comes Dan doing things in the South Side and helping people, because that's what he's done his whole life, and he genuinely cares about them. And that's what they want. And to see that the news actually did interviews, and they said, I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. I just want somebody who's going to take care of my family and I. Well, he's sitting right here, guys. So, I mean, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, take 5 people to vote for you, sign his petitions electronically online, get him in office, because President Trump needs Dan to secure this southern border. He needs a congressman in CD7 that's going to work with him and others and be bipartisan to get things done for President Trump.
And CD7,
and that's Dan.
They need a congressman who's going to show up.
Exactly.
And,
Show up to work every day.
exactly.
And that's him right here.
Right. Congressman Grijalva was just too ill and he was unable to do it. And it's a shame that people used him in that way to just, block someone else from being there, and that wasn't his fault, but it's something that that is true. It did happen, and the people deserve representation. And I know that you would love to do it.
And we got the border almost under control through Trump, and with Grijalva, he was just placating to the Democrats. It was almost a socialist type of a thing that he was running. But with Daniel always spoke that he was going to attack those principles, and he's been a man of his word. I really, really think that Daniel is a great candidate and is the right man for the job. And I'm glad you decided to come over here, because this is right. It just happened last week that he passed away, and right away Daniel was on top of it, and I knew he was going to be on top of it because he's been a candidate for a while.
We knew this was happening. We knew that Congressman Grijalva was in just extremely poor health, and that's why he had said that he wouldn't run in 26, right? He said that because he was not in any shape to do that. So.
Well, we definitely have a ground game that we didn't have last time. I've got a manager I didn't have last time. We got like 70 or 80 volunteers that are out getting signatures.
Ooh, a workforce.
They're running around.
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
Huge.
we got people everywhere right now, and I'm doing what Trump did. Trump went to communities and areas where they hated. He knew he was not going to be received well, but he still went there. And I'm doing the exact same thing. I came here to Phoenix and I spoke to all the tribes of Arizona. Jeff Zink was there, and I went to the Pasquiaki tribe to get out their vote, took the stage, talked to all the tribe. I went to the Tohono O'odham tribe. I'm going to areas where no Republican has ever gone, and I'm talking to those people because we need them to take the seat back. We've got to take the seat back. And if I got to listen to them to attack me, as long as I get 5 or 6 people out of there, that number will grow. So I go in there with that attitude, and I'm going to win this.
Are you going to have like a dedicated, somebody who does helps you with the tribes? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, we do. We already have somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, we have pretty much everything in place. Dan's doing all the right things, and it's easy because he does show up. And he does spend time with the people, and that's what's near and dear to his heart, is that his community is well taken care of, and they know because he's done it. And a lot of the places that Dan has gone, they're all Democrats, and they have received him with open arms. They're ready. We have converted people to Republican in Santa Cruz County and Pima County and other counties, and it's happening. It's going to happen. He's going to win. And we are going to flip Southern Arizona, and President Trump is going to be ecstatic.
Yes. And I know, like I mentioned, I live in a blue area, and you are completely forgotten in a place like that. As a Republican, you're forgotten, but even the Dems, they're considered, in the bag for the Dems. So the Dems don't spend any time or really anything with them. And the Republicans are like, oh, well, we can't win that, so we'll not even try. And just showing up really means so much to people in the community. Just like you care. And that's what they want. They want someone who cares, who will show up, who will talk to them. And I'm assuming that you'll have, as much of an open door policy as a congressman can have, to hear from these people that, once they elect you, they don't want to okay, and you run off to DC and we never see you again, or you don't run off to DC and don't do anything, you know what I mean? And that's, like you said, I know that you are such a sweet man. I know the last time that you were at our studio at Chips and Salsa, after the show, I was having some vehicle issues, and he was, came right out, popped the hood, looked there, helped me add the oil to my car. I mean, that was just a very sweet, kind man, and he's got just an awesome supporter of a wife. You should be so proud of her, because she is just always, sending out stuff, letting me know what's going on, and just awesome team you have. And it's because you're an awesome guy and would make a wonderful congressman.
Well, Thank you very much. I actually had a gentleman come up to me last week, the weekend we had painted the church, and he comes over. He was an older Hispanic guy who was a Democrat. He came over and he said, "Mr. Butierez, it is an honor to meet you." And he shook my hand, and he goes, "Let me tell you something. You are doing everything right. I mean everything right." He goes, "It's not about communication," which he was referring to. I don't speak Spanish, and that whole church speaks Spanish, but they all love me. He said, "It's not about communication. It's about connection. And you, sir, have connected with everyone." So.
And I think those people have been ignored for so long. They're hungry for someone who cares, who will listen. And that's Dan. So,
Yes.
And you'll have your office open for your constituents?
Absolutely.
He will have an open door policy, and all of his staff, most of us are all bilingual. Hablamos español y estamos ahí para ayudarles a todos.
Oh, you know what? I got one thing to say to that, because someone said something to me. My buddy Vance, who's he's major help to our campaign, but he said something to me one day. I said, a gentleman had called someone in Cochise and said, "Yeah, but he doesn't speak Spanish and he doesn't look Mexican." And they said, "You're telling me he's not Mexican enough for you?" And he got upset, and I told Vance that, and Vance goes, "Let me tell you something. What language do they speak in Washington?" English. Okay, I don't care whether or not what language someone speaks, but by God, he better speak English, and he better speak it well, because that's how he's representing me. He's got to speak English. So whatever other language may be cool, may be nice, but you want your candidate to be able to speak English and speak it well.
right. That it is nice, but like you said, a connection is more important. You know, and showing someone, guess what? I might not be able to communicate with you that great, and I still care about you. I still care what happens to this church and
And the
this
thing
community.
is, he'll be surrounded by a staff that speaks Spanish. So anybody that comes up to him and speaks Spanish, they'll relate it to him. So it is not that crucial. He needs to speak English in Washington, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I like that way of looking at it. Like how is the communication going to be once you got the job?
Yep.
That's where we're going to be at.
And I'm actually working at learning my Spanish a little. And Yvette, she's going to be helping me.
Help me too, then, Yvette. I can
I
order
will.
food. I know a few choice naughty words, some bad words.
You always have to learn the bad ones first.
Yes. Because you know why? Because we drive, so you must know
Yes.
them to drive.
yes. I will teach everybody Spanish,
Okay.
right?
Yvette, Spanish 101.
Yes.
No, that's the truth. That's why when you're a candidate, you have a staff. But when when you win the office, that staff is assigned to you. They're like your right and left hand people. They got to go through the staff first before they reach the candidate. And of course, they're going to reach the candidate, but the staff is right there assisting the candidate. And he has a great campaign manager.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yes, I know.
I'm honored to do it. I love you guys too.
I was really excited and surprised when they were saying, "Oh yeah, Yvette's with Dan now." Oh, that's so great! Like it's two of your friends,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah, no,
together.
it's an honor. People ask me all the time, they're like, "Why Dan?" What? I said, because Dan is true to his word. He's honest. He shows up. And I live in the district. I've lived in the district my whole life, just like Dan has. And who knows the district better than this team right here is us. We know the struggles. We know what's needed. We know it's blue, but, when we go out and we're in the community, it's red. And actually, when we do Hispanic events, there is no right or left. It's unity. And, for this campaign, it's hope, unity, and community. And that's what we're doing. And we're bridging those gaps in between the parties. And right now, what you need to understand is that we need to vote. Our district is different, so his race is different. But we are doing people over party. We need to go back to voting for the person, for what they're going to do, versus just the party. Don't just vote for a Democrat just because you're a Democrat. You know, just like with President Trump, you didn't vote for him, you know, just because he was a Republican. You know, if you're a Democrat, you voted for him because you loved him, you liked what he was doing. So we need to do that in District 7, and we are going to take it back, and he's going to be the winner.
Right, and once you do that, it's going to hopefully give a bump to whoever's running for governor. I'm sure it'll be Andy Biggs.
100% that will
right?
happen
It will
because
make-
this Pima County, mostly Pima County, Santa Cruz, is the problem child of Arizona. If you look at all the numbers, it's always that section of blue that kind of messes everybody up, right? So with Dan running and the difference that he's making in the community and the relationships, it's going to help whoever's running for governor. They will win, but what's going to happen is whoever gets CD7, they will stay in CD7 seat for as long as they want. Because once they win it, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you're going to hold on to that seat. So Dan wins that seat as a Republican, then you get a Republican governor, and we're going to be red for a very long time.
And that's what we want for our beloved Arizona.
Yes.
Is we want to get back to conservative roots and just change, you know, like Matt Evans says, take back Phoenix, we're going to take back Arizona and turn it proper shade of red.
Amen.
And what you just said is exactly right. Conservative. And that's when I'm talking to the Hispanics in my community, I don't go over and talk about Democrats and Republicans. I look at them, I say, you and I are both conservatives. 90% of the time, I'm absolutely right, because they are conservative, just like us.
You mentioned it's a large Catholic district,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right, and that's why, you know, family, faith, pro-life, that's all, you know, strong Catholic values. This recently it was the March for Life, and it was just an insane amount of Catholics. There was Catholic schools, there were priests and nuns and all kinds of, you know what I mean? They're strongly pro-life and strongly conservative. So we just need to reach out to them and have a connection for them to see, to try to look past the D or the R. And
God, family, and country.
Right. We have things in common, and they're important things, our values and things like that. And so that's what you want to make your connection. That's the foundation for it.
Now, do they have like a forum where the candidates will meet, the ones that are recognized as running? Will they be meeting
Like a debate for all
as a debate or something? Have you heard anything about that?
I
Or is it
haven't
just?
heard that because it's such a, I mean, there's not a whole lot of time.
I know. I mean, it's
And
coming.
they don't really have enough time to get their name out. But, I mean, I'm not afraid to go I'll go debate, no problem. But I don't know if they're even going to have time for that because once we get our signatures in, which is what everybody's doing right now.
Right.
We have 26 days left to get that. Then we got 3 months before the primary.
So you have to go out there and knock on doors, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And that's what your team is doing. Your canvassers are out there pounding the pavement as we speak, yes?
Absolutely. Every day they're out there.
Yes. And it's the largest team I think anybody's ever seen, especially for this race.
And you know what else is awesome as somebody who is usually a canvasser is that it's not so hot yet. It'll come, but
It's
for
true.
right now, we can gleefully and joyfully go out there and pound the pavement.
That is
right?
so true. But they love it. Even when it's like scorching hot, they're out there and they'll do anything for Dan. So they're wonderful. And we have like, you know, hundreds of volunteers really all over Southern Arizona, you know,
How
from
can-
all the counties.
How can people
So-
support your campaign if maybe, you know, I don't live in CD7, so I can't sign? What can I do to support your campaign?
Like any other campaign, we need money. You can follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter,
What's your Twitter handle?
Instagram. It's Butierez, number 4C.
Okay.
So that's my Twitter.
And you have a website where people can send that money, those donations, or volunteer to pound that pavement?
Yep. It's just ButierezForCongress.com.
And it's FOR or the number
It's
4?
the FOR.
FOR. Okay.
Yes.
Butierez for Congress.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we need donations. We need that for sure. We need money. And
Or personas.
Yeah, we need more people.
More
Yeah,
bodies.
we need
More
more bodies.
bodies, yeah.
But we need more people to share and like his post too. So if you,
social media?
yes, if you see it, share it because that's the most important thing on social media is to get his message out. So anytime we post something, if you see it, share it. Come to the events too. Bring family that that live in our district too. To these events. It's very important to get out and make it happen because I know together we can make it happen. And Dan's the guy. Dan's going to be number one. He's going to win. And President Trump is going to be so happy. And it's just going to change everything for Arizona winning this race. And I've always said that. People have been very negative in the past. Oh, you can't win. Oh, I don't want to donate money. It's never going to happen. You can't keep thinking that way. If we thought that way, President Trump would have never have won.
Right.
And we can't do that. We have to change our mindset. We have to help Dan win this race because we have to help President Trump. And he's going to help him. He's going to work together with him. And the border is going to be even more secure than it ever has been. Having a congressman in that district that all the ports of entry are in, that's going to help him.
How many LDs do you have in your area? Legislative districts. I mean, I know on this side you got.
20, is there? Well, there's 7.
I have to check. I think it's 27. I got to count them.
Well, no, those are the number, but
Yeah.
they're not all in that
Yeah, no,
district.
they're
There's
not
like
in that
7 or 8.
Are you gonna try to visit some of them prior to the election?
Oh, I visit them all. I at a regular basis.
Yes.
Anytime they call and ask me, I'm there.
Awesome. That's what you got to do. Get your name out there, and you, like you said, a gentleman told me you're doing everything right, and that's what I see. So, for anyone who's able to donate money, or if you're able to donate your time, I know it will be greatly appreciated. And if you are unable to do either of those, you can pray. You can pray for Dan in the campaign, and we'll come out ahead.
Right on.
Oh, you have a fundraiser coming up?
We do.
What is it?
I don't want to forget, but we have a fundraiser on March 31st. So if anybody wants to attend, it's in Amado, Arizona. We're going to have music, fun, and speakers. And so it's going to be good grilled food and, cowboy style.
Oh,
So it's going to be awesome.
Fun.
Yeah.
And then what time was your event on Monday at Reforma?
It's at 5:30. We start promptly at 5:30, so you don't want to miss the opening. And so just come join us and support Dan.
Awesome. Very cool.
And then thank you for coming on our show. And we hope that you're going to come back. And then come back after you win, because you are going to win.
Absolutely.
I mean, don't forget us. And then we'll push for 2028. I mean, then the battle will start for 2028.
2026.
26.
Or 2026 and 2028.
Yes.
Well, I think it's every 2 years, isn't it? Or-
Yes, it is.
Again, thank you for tuning in to the Chips and Salsa show. We will have Daniel again, and he's always kept his word when he comes on our show. He's here, and hopefully we'll get him at our LD to come LD 22. But watch your kids around water. Don't leave kids or pets unattended in the vehicles, and everybody vote for. If you're in CD7, vote for.
And if you're able to right now, you can
Daniel
sign his petition online, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Right. eQual, the website. So I'm sure that there are links to it on your website or on your social media, right?
It's right on my Facebook. So.
Yeah,
Right.
so you can definitely start by doing that. So thank you so much for joining us for Chips and Salsa today with some politics on the side. Bye.